PSP is, I think they've positioned themselves pretty well, but I'm not sure how much more room they have to maneuver. A lot of what's going to happen for them, I think, in the next year or two will be largely dependent on what happens with the affiliate leagues
Hmm.
that they have set up in the regionals, the Hinman's deal over on the West Coast, CFOA, and down here in Florida, the CFPS, I guess it is. Too many acronyms. I lose track of all the letters after a while.
Yeah, especially when one specific fell apart, it seemed like everybody broke down into these tiny little feeder or regional leagues. Is that more what the future is, or is it going to be a PSP, NPPL sort of format? Is that just we're used to it and so many people are pushing it, it's going to stay that way no matter what?
Well, in the case of the PSP, no, it's a little bit different because they have a plan that integrates the activities at the affiliate, the regional level, all the way up to their national level series. And it's not so much just you guys play what we play down there, and hopefully you send some teams to us. There's more of a vertical integration plan that they're starting to implement there,
Hmm.
which I think will be useful uh, to help develop more grassroots interest. I mean, look at I posted about it today. Look at what the results for Mike's first event are going to be this coming weekend. 52. I think it was 52. Five-man teams playing race to two,
Yeah.
and California hasn't done that before. So that speaks pretty well of at least the interest level that he's got going out there, and the fact that teams are prepared, willing, and able to make that transition where they haven't done it before. I think that same thing has an impact on our seven-man friends over at Nipple 3.0, because while they may claim a couple of feeder leagues, they're looking at the feeder leagues, kind of the old-fashioned way, in the sense that when they say feeder, that's exactly what they mean. They're trying to find places where they can get people at a lower level to pump teams into their tournament. And I have suggested a number of times over recent years that kind of the old traditional NPPL model of a national tournament series, where essentially everything is built in kind of a pyramid with the larger mass numbers of the lower divisions supporting the upper divisions,
Hmm.
was not a model that was going to work indefinitely. And I think we saw that with seven man for a variety of reasons that were not always related just to paintball, but I think you've also seen some of that with the PSP trying to make moves to transition away from the enormous national level tournament that just sucks teams up from different places and runs them around the country 4 or 5 times a year.
Do you think that, excuse me, two different leagues competing for players, income, supplies, advertising is the way to go? Or do you think ultimately there has to be, two men enter, one man leaves? There has to be one league that everybody plays. Otherwise, we're just sort of shooting ourselves in the foot. Will there ever be one PSP or NPPL, or will they merge finally, or are there just way too many egos and time and money and whatever invested for that to ever happen?
Um, First part of that, I always favored the competition between the leagues, and I think in the early years it was a very positive development for a lot of the players. Not sure it was ever a good idea for either of the leagues or the industry, but from a player's perspective, I think it worked out pretty well. Um, at this point, no, there probably isn't room for two national level series. And to be perfectly honest with you, I think the NPPL is demonstrating that fact on a daily basis. Um, they apparently did not do financially very well last year, And I honestly don't see how they can expect anything to turn around until, Daddy Warbucks shows up at the front door with a bag full of money or something.
And that's something that I've said many times on this show. It seems to be the way everybody's doing. We just have to hold on. It's like we're in a bad relationship where we're going to turn around. Everything's going to, I've just got to wait for it's the waiting for Godot syndrome. We're going to hold on. I'll sell my car. I'll mortgage my house. I'll borrow from my friends because it's going to happen. It's going to break any day now. And I know as soon as I leave, it's going to happen. We're all going to be multi-billionaires, and I'm going to be working at Denny's going, God damn it, if I would have just held out for 2 more months, years, whatever, we finally make it.
Right.
But you're saying that day will never come. Or
Um,
just be happy with what we have now and enjoy the sport.
well, yeah, for 99% of the players, certainly that's what their focus really ought to be. Try to avoid getting caught up in all of the rest of the stuff that's going on. But that's also why I think the PSP is probably doing the best job right now, because they're cognizant of, the reality of our current situation, and they have been making specific moves for at least a couple of years that are aimed at getting away from reliance on, the old way of doing things and the big dream. They're not counting on that happening. They're looking at different ways to make things work for them, given the reality that we're dealing with now. So hopefully they will be able to pull that off, and we'll go forward with at least those guys. And I would love to see the 7-man stick around. I have a lot of sympathy for the team owners, actually having a piece of that pie and having a voice in what's going on. I just think it's the wrong vehicle that they're involved in at this point.